Am I the asshole for not telling my coworker she was being replaced by me and leaving it up to HR to do it? Okay, so I, 32F, work at the biggest hospital in my area. I have been working here for almost 10 years now. I started out as a contracted, full-time employee but then had my daughter, 4F, and asked to be switched to per diem, which allowed me to work less hours and have more flexibility. Now, one of my coworkers at another wing of the same hospital is Donnie, 38F. Over the years, I have heard comments about her not putting in the work or slacking off, but our specialty is very much in demand in our area and I guess that's why she never really suffered any consequences. Donnie also works per diem, as she has a contracted part-time job elsewhere. Almost 2 years ago, she got pregnant. She told me she intended to stay home with her son for the first few months, and asked me if I would cover her shifts at this other wing so they wouldn't bring in someone else. Since it was only going to be about 6 months, I said yes. The thing was, her baby was born, 6 months passed, and while she went back to her other job, being a contracted employee, she kept telling me to hold on just a little longer because she was adjusting to getting back to work. A few more months passed and she kept telling me the same thing. At this point, I had already adjusted to working that many hours again and was okay with it, but I don't deal well with uncertainty and the not knowing was really wearing me down. So I told her that I hadn't signed up for subbing for her for this long, that I needed to find something more stable and long-term for myself and that I was going to talk to HR about getting someone else to replace her if she didn't come back. She said she would come back, soon. She didn't. So I went to HR, let them know that I wanted to go back to my old wing only, and they let me know that they thought I had done a really good job and were interested in keeping me long-term. They ended up offering me a contract to work both this new wing and my old one, and when I asked what about Donnie, they told me that she would be welcome to take up any shifts that arose upon need, but that she probably wouldn't have as many hours as she used to. They talked me into believing it was her fault for leaving me, and them, hanging, and I ended up accepting the contract. Now here's where I might have been I asked them to talk to her about it and didn't tell her anything myself. I thought it was their responsibility, since it hadn't been my initiative and I had solely accepted their offer. It took her a couple of months to contact me again, letting me know she was coming back, and I realized immediately HR hadn't talked to her. So I told her to talk to them. Not even 1 hour later, she calls me absolutely fuming and calling me all sorts of names for blindsiding her and asking me if I was the B who had her job now. I feel really bad for not telling her now, but I truly thought that they would talk to her back then, so I never thought about it again. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Why would it be your responsibility to tell her? That's absolutely on them. Not the asshole. You gave her months of warning, and when this didn't work, you approached her and gave her even more warning. When she failed to do this, you went to HR. Then, HR failed to do its job by informing her, leaving you in an uncomfortable situation. It feels cruel to say, but the fact is, no matter what sort of postpartum she may be suffering from, it's your job, you can't do much to help. NTA, she is gone for this long, not your choice. Our decided to offer you a contract and it should be their job to speak with employees about a changing situation. Not the asshole. Why would it be your responsibility to tell her? That's absolutely on them. Not the asshole, she is your coworker, not your friend. It's not her job, and it's HR's responsibility to manage this, not yours. Not the asshole at all, you covered her shift for months. If you hadn't, they would have found someone else straight away. You then told her you couldn't do it, and had you not accepted, they would have covered her shifts then. But if you are friends, rather than acquaintances, then I would have told her myself. That way you could have said they were pleased with your work and you have been offered your own contract, without getting into details of taking from her. Fit all you know, the shifts might have been there by the time she actually wanted to start working, or someone else might change their hours. Not the asshole. You were offered a job. You have the right to take it. Not the asshole. HR changed your contract and thus, hers. It's appropriate for them, or Danny's supervisor, to have the conversation, not you. Additionally, did you document the conversation with them and when you asked them to tell her? I would get the exact date and summarize this for them, letting them know their inaction put you in an uncomfortable position and how your former colleague reacted. Donnie sounds like a huge liability, to be honest, but they put you in a position for retaliation. Protect yourself. Am I the asshole for not wanting my wife to give away my top ramen? Am I the asshole for not wanting my top ramen given away? I am, 40, made a small comment, which made my wife F, 49, lose her shit on me. My wife was getting ready for a trip to visit family on the other side of the state, and put together a bag of care package items for our kid, who lives over there as well. Some context for my remark: whenever there is a food drive, my wife will raid the pantry, and grab a bunch of food. Mostly this is my food. My wife is gluten-free and FODMAP, so this is food that she can't eat. Canned food like refried beans, pasta sauce, pasta, top ramen, etc. Typically I don't say anything, but it sort of bothers me that my stash of comfort food is the go-to thing for donations. I agree with food drives and donating. It's not the price of the food, but it gets donated, I have to replace it, and it gives me peace of mind to have it there when neither of us want to cook and have a fend for ourselves dinner. If I can't think of anything to make, I'll just go fuck it, top ramen time. Anyway, she put together the bag of stuff for the kid, and the top ramen is at the top of the bag. I say, "Oh, there goes the top ramen again," and head off to take a shower. While I'm in the shower I hear cabinet slamming. I get out, dress and sit down on the couch. She comes out from the bedroom with a sour scowl on her face. Tells me that it is really stingy of me to say anything about the top ramen. I'm like, "Hey, you could have at least asked me." Wife: "What, are we just roommates? I have to ask about paper towels? Top ramen? They are 25 cents each." Me: "Well, it's the principle. It's my food, I like to have on hand. You could have asked, I would have said yes. I just don't like my food always being the first thing to get donated every time." Her: "You're so fucking cheap, you're just like your father. This is the go to low blow shot. Here I lost my shit. Go to the cabinet, start throwing stuff in the bag, batteries, all the canned food, tape, white out." She stopped me, saying that is enough stuff, she doesn't need all that. Then we were done, but both pissed at each other. She is running from room to room, getting ready to leave on her week-long trip, and not taking. Stomping around etc. So I say sorry, I made the comment about the top ramen. She says fine, I accept your apology, but you really need to stop making comments like that, just shut your fucking mouth. Just like your dad with that shit. I don't re-escalate because she is about to leave. I was kinda thinking she might apologize too, but nothing whatsoever. As for being cheap, I pay more than half of our monthly bills. I just paid for our entire vacation last week. Just bought a new fridge. Buy almost all the groceries. Pay for meals out 100% of the time. So anyways, I've been stewing about this argument for the past 2 days, but don't really know what to say to her that I haven't already said. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I don't know why you're being voted the asshole when you're not. Who wants their comfort food being taken all the time without notice? A heads up or her replacing the food she takes would make all the difference. She can start donating her own food too. Not the asshole. Regardless of the value, it belongs to you. It doesn't matter if it is for your grown child. She should at least have the courtesy to ask. As for her comments about your father, she is a major awe. You more than pull your weight from what you said. Your wife has an issue. I would suggest finding out what is going on. Why the hostility? Not the asshole. It's easy to be generous with other people's shit, huh? The kid is 22 years old. The wife is 49 and he is 40. So wife was 27 when the kid was born and op was 18? Are these ages correct? If so, how long were y'all together? Reddit would have a fit if the genders were reversed. 22 is old enough to get your own food, 49 is old enough to get food to give away, and 27 is old enough to keep your damn hands off barely legal. But there is a lot of shit to unpack here, and a professional counselor is in order, a good one. NTA. Your child is adult, it's not like you're trying to keep food from a minor. I get your wife wants to do something nice for her, but if she's driving across the state she has had plenty of time to plan, will have plenty of opportunities to stop and get something from the store. Wait a minute. Is she this rude and talking down to you on a regular basis? Does she make you feel bad like this often? Not the asshole. It would piss me off if every time I go to cabinet for comfort food it's gone because it gets donated. Look, if her wife wants to donate she can go buy food to donate. I am telling you now, if roles was reversed they be calling you an asshole. Sounds like there's bigger problems than 2 ramen going on. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She is emotionally violent. Her slamming cupboards and stomping around the house sounds like a teenager. Second, she's using up your stuff and leaving your supplies depleted. It's not the cost, it's the inconvenience. Apparently she never inconveniences herself when she's being generous to others. If she wants to donate your stuff, she should take the effort to replace it. That said, it's pretty hypocritical of her to call you a cheap ass when she's the one who is giving away someone else's stuff so she doesn't have to give any of her own. Would I be the asshole for keeping my children in the same school they are being bullied at? This is a throwaway account like so many here. So, I have 3 children. 7M, 10F, and 12F. The youngest is on the spectrum. My wife recently became the assistant principal of a nearby elementary school. Initially, when she taught, we were going to have our kids go to the school she works at. We thought this would be all right because our schools have multiple classes per grade year, so we could ensure that they would never be in my wife's class, and my wife could drive them to school or they could take the bus. Unfortunately, this caused a lot of trouble with our oldest. Other parents and even teachers accused my wife of nepotism. When she didn't even teach kindergarten, she taught 4th grade. Kids bullied my oldest relentlessly for being a teacher's kid, while others tried to use her as a stepstool to try and get special treatment from my wife. And for a kindergartner? This was very harmful. So we had to make a tough decision and decided all 3 of our children would go to a different school in the district. This fixed the drama. School politics make Westeros politics look tame. The nice thing is that this won't be a problem for middle and high school since neither I nor my wife work there and both of their elementary schools feed into the middle and high school, so they'll be with their friends. Unfortunately, my youngest and my middle are still getting bullied. Youngest is routinely being terrorized at school. We don't know what it is, but several kids just have it out for him. The teachers are on his side and they know he is not doing anything to provoke this sans existing. It has gotten so bad that when we had hybrid, he begged to stay home. The middle one is getting some flack as well. Now, their school isn't handling it poorly at all. Kids are just little monsters and adults unfortunately can't be everywhere. Especially the bathrooms. Even when the children were full remote, people were giving them shit over Zoom and not letting them speak. However, here's what's causing the conflict. My wife is the assistant principal now. Because of the bullying in school, my youngest and middle children want to move to her school. They think nobody will mess with them if their parent is the vice principal. Neither me nor my wife think that is a good idea. We think that for every problem it would solve, it would create another problem for them and or my wife. The fact that they are not even going to the same school where she works at all is one reason, but not the reason. She even has her position. The staff at my kids' school are not the problem. They are very good and understanding, some of which actually know us. However, administration at my wife's school, as well as a few other faculty members, would suspect her of nepotism. I personally think we're doing the right thing by making our kids stay at the other school. But I want your opinion. Am I the asshole? You are the asshole. It's been several years since your oldest daughter was bullied for being a teacher's kid. I personally think switching to your wife's school would be worth a shot. At the very least, it would communicate to your children that you are listening to and supporting them. They may take your refusal to do this, an assumption that they will be bullied at the new school the same as the old, as an indication that you agree with their bullies or believe they will embarrass your wife. It's true, some may think it is nepotism. Your wife is an administrator and should be able to handle this. You are the asshole. All your kids are going to remember is that when they were being hurt, mom and dad didn't do everything possible to protect them. You are the asshole. If you have the ability to easily remove your kids from their bullies, why wouldn't you? I'd hardly call this nepotism unless there's more information not included here. Put your kids before your wife. Info. How could she show nepotism as an assistant principal? She has no control over their grades. I'm in America and it is very common for the children of administration go to that school. Can she talk to the principal about the bullying and why she wants to consider moving the kids? I think probably not, except the bullies. But I personally feel with my school and where I live I would move my children to my school. You are the asshole who cares what you guys are comfortable with. Your kids are telling you that they want to leave that school because they are being terrorized and they have another totally viable school to attend, so do them a favor and move them. Principals have their children attend the same school all the time. This isn't any different. Do whatever it takes to make your kids' lives easier. I can't believe you actually have to ask this. You are the asshole. Move the kids. And if you have to, keep moving the kids till they are in a safe environment. Nothing is more important. Newsflash for you. If your children are still being bullied daily, the staff at their school does suck and so do you. How is stopping this ongoing bullying not your first priority, whatever it takes? Sell your damn house and move if you have to, but stop your small child from being terrorized, your word. Your kids are being harassed and feel unsafe daily. I think you need to try anything you can to help them. Am I the asshole for considering not baking my best friend's daughter's cake? Trigger. W33D, mental health. I am 24F. I've had this best friend for quite some time, 8 years, but today I noticed something I've been suspecting for a while. So to the point, this friend got pregnant 2019, had baby August of 2020. She asked me to plan her gender reveal and bake the cake. I did beautifully, spent over $400 in the whole ordeal while working a full-time job with 2 kids myself. It was beautiful. Emo. She didn't spend a single second of that day with me, which I assumed, well, maybe she was just caught up in the moment. Following to her pregnancy, I was basically on a daily routine of checking up, making sure she had all she needed. I would try to visit, but she wouldn't allow because of the pandemic, but in turn she would post pictures of her at restaurants with her friends. At first it rubbed me wrong, but then I said, well, maybe it's because my husband is a first responder. I brushed it off. Well, quarantine brought my husband and I out most desired gift of all, a baby. We were over the moon but very wary on I was having complications, so in fear of the unknown we kept it to purser. I told her in excitement. I asked her if she would do the honor of my gender reveal. So we get to the gender reveal and I'm expecting almost the same effort and excitement as I did for her, but literally got a pair of t-shirts that said it's a girl and that was it. No decor, no food, absolutely nothing. We left right after receiving the shirts because her boyfriend wanted to smoke W33D. I cried hard. I brushed it off as being hormonal. Following to her baby shower, she asked to use my house. I said yeah, no prob. She then told me she was also expecting me to make the cake. I said cool, no problem. I even ended up decorating because she literally threw all the decor in my house and asked me to do it. Throughout the whole baby shower it was the same as the gender reveal, all attention on all her friends, and I basically had to beg her to take a picture with me. Also, I gifted her a $200 breast pump on top of all I did. Well, she posted all her pictures with all her friend and not one of me. Didn't even thank me for anything, then left the mess for my husband and I to clean. So my baby shower my mom planned for me because she said she didn't have the time. She showed up high as hell and smelling like straight W33D, was there for about 5 minutes then left. So a few days ago she called me to tell me that her daughter's birthday party was coming up and that she was expecting me to make a cake, one cake. I said okay cool, being the nice person I am. Then like 2 days ago she called and told me she wants 2 cakes, the main cake being a 2-tiered cake and the second being one sole cake just as nicely decorated. Might I add, I've been struggling bad with my mental health and she hasn't checked on me not once. Not that she has to, but just saying, since I've done the same and more, would it be wrong if I said I didn't want to make anything? NTA. This friend isn't your friend. She's a leech suckling off your generosity. Cut her out of your life. You need to drop this person. They don't treat you like a friend. They treat you like unpaid help. Not the asshole. Don't cry about it too much though, because losing this relationship doesn't sound like much of a loss. Not the asshole. This woman is not your friend. The earlier you tell her, the sooner she can make alternative arrangements. A polite text, note. Sorry. Overwhelmed with pregnancy and everything else. Sure, you can appreciate as you must be feeling the same. Threw everything I had into your gender reveal and baby shower. Please pass on birthday wishes, etc. Girl, run. She is toxic and using you. NTA. For the sake of your mental health, please don't do it. Not the asshole. I have no words. It sounds like she's taking advantage of you. I'm in a bad place today, so I wouldn't bother explaining it to her. But being you've been BFFs since you were 16, maybe I'd try to explain it. I wish you the best, my internet friend. You should be treated better. This is not just hormones. I am not pregnant and my heart hurts for you. You are so not an asshole, and I'd say she's gaslighting you if she calls you one. She can buy her own cake and host her own party. She can support local businesses. You're not an asshole if you tell her the truth. You are also not an awl if you get sick and cancel now. Not the asshole. Girl, where are in the world? If ya near me, we are going out kid-friendly park with a picnic to chill. I'll organize it if ya near me. Travel is just too much right now. If you can't ring her, I get the anxiety, so verbal might not be for you. Message her, hey, I am sorry but I won't be able to do the cake for your kid's birthday. Please tell them happy birthday from me. If she messages back and goes off, politely advise that, I don't have the time, energy, finances at the moment to assist and need to focus on my own health, family, then block her. She isn't your friend. She is using you. Thank you to everyone, you have made me feel better. I will update later on today when I have told her how I feel. Why are you letting her walk all over you? Stand up for yourself and stop. She is an asshole and most definitely not a friend. She's a user. She's just using you. Not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole.